At the turn of the tide, I can see an innate desire. Sword in hand, warriors side by side. I can feel it, it burns like fire. Worlds collide, an unstable landscape, side by side. But that's what this mandates. Be it might and unlikely allegiance, we will fight because that's the best defense. No turning back, for such is our path. This day we find a glorious death. Glorious death. Our goal, our mission is clear, as we ride against a dark empire. By my soul, may the last thing they hear be the roar of this raging fire. Disobey the infantry mindset. Not today, we'll let loose and find it. Brutal will define our reaction. Rip out the throat of each one in their faction. No turning back, for such is our path. This day we find a glorious death. Fear not, my friend, for righteous the path. They shall remember glorious death. Glorious. The angels have fallen, my allies are beaten and broken down. I shed not a tear. After all, this is why we are here. War we were not supposed to win. If I'm to die tonight, I'll kill every demon that stands in my spine. Go! You must shake me a fool. I'll stand on the skeletons of every goal. But if I'm to die, well, this very night, we'll kill every demon that stands in us. No turning back, for such is our path. This day we find a glorious death. Fear not, my friend, for righteous the path. They shall remember glorious death. Make them remember glorious death. Glorious
Boom. Braxcast live once again. I know I didn't do a live stream last week. I was out socializing. I was in Boston last week. So I just didn't do a live stream that week. So that was that. But I'm going to be as antisocial as I usually am on a Friday night, at least I guess physically. But we are going to be doing Braxcast live, which I do quite enjoy. So, but there is definitely a decent amount of stuff to talk about. So, not to bury the lead, I did get Alpha Core 2 a while ago. It's just been, and I read it last night, so it's kind of fallen on the wayside to do the review. I haven't gotten anything for the stuff that's fulfilling. I think it's I might have ordered Cursed, and there's so many freaking reverse orders, but I might have ordered Cursed and Black Eye Club Part 2 together. So I might be getting those like later. So it might be a while before I get Cursed and Black Eye Club Part 2. Because that started fulfillment this week. I believe about 2 days ago on the 20th of May. But I haven't gotten anything else fulfilled to me. I know Detention Crew is going to get fulfilled as well. But we do have some more pre-orders open. And these are some good ones. So Horseman Definitive. So you're getting a Horseman Definitive Horseman, which I do quite enjoy. Not something that I need. I mean, I'm freaking broke, so I don't need to buy every single book. And honestly, I'm probably going to stop doing that. But this is going to collect the first, most likely, ugh, it's going to, yeah, this is going to be, yeah, this is featured in the 1 to 3. So this is going to collect Horseman 1, 2, and 3. So issues 1 through 3 will be collected in the first issue of Horseman. How about that? So, well, let's see. So yeah. So NRG did the hardcover. Gleitz and Ribeiro and Prasad Rao did the soft cover. So I gotta find those and that. So, and then, but yeah. So this is basically, nothing. I wouldn't say this is cool. This is going to be quite the way to read Horseman. Read those first 3 issues. So although honestly, I mean, oh yeah, so this is collecting Welcome to Forest Park and then the first 3 issues of the ongoing series. So that's actually, I was like, oh, why wouldn't they do that? So they are doing that, which is cool. Really freaking cool. And you got this fantastic cover. This is, I believe, yeah, this is a soft cover. And then the hardcover, I mean, that is just, whew. I love how realistic it looks. Also, remaining stylized, you got like this like death motif. Just absolutely fantastic. And of course, Hector's got no qualms about being a killer, right? But that is the definitive Horseman, which, I mean, honestly, there really isn't anything for me to, yeah, we got Merc Lounge in the chat. Hail to you. So, yeah, I mean, there really isn't anything for me to go and, like, I have no deep commentary to give on the definitive Horseman. So they've been doing this with, basically all the ongoing series, which is what you would expect to see. I'm sure Bloodroof and Saoirse will get this treatment when they're, well, Saoirse, we haven't even gotten Saoirse number 1, which is, a thing. Uh, so we're definitely a ways off from getting like the definitive Saoirse, but I do, it'll be, for all the ongoing series. But of course, we've got the definitive Alpha Core volume number 1. This is going to be the same thing. This is going to collect the first 3 issues of the Alpha Core. This is coming with a signed, hardcover. You can get a signed soft cover with that certificate of authenticity. You can watch me unboxing the Isom action figure. And you'll see the certificate of authenticity that the Rippaverse uses if you're super curious about what that looks like, which, I think it's valid to be. But I just read the second issue, and I mean, should I say for the review, but the biggest takeaway is that it's a second issue. It's good. Andrew did say like, oh, you'll know why, they waited so long, and I can definitely see that. Especially after reading Chasing Ghosts and of course Horseman, it does make you realize like, oh yeah, it's nice to see those things. It would have been nice to have some asterisks at certain points. If this is, I imagine this is still like they haven't sent the final print file to get these printed. So if anybody's listening to this, especially in Alpha Core 2. There are some times, like especially like when those appearances come up, when you see Ingrid coming in on something, like you can put in a little asterisk there and say, "Hey, read this book, read that book." Um, I mean, I could not imagine, because these books are going to be distributed by Hachette into libraries, and it's going to be like seeing an asterisk like that, and then it's like, oh, if you want to know who Cal Buxton is, read Horseman number one. A little spoiler there, but anyways, um, but I mean, it honestly makes sense that Cal would show up. Um, but it's really really good, in the sense that, like, yeah, it took a long time, but like I'm not really dissatisfied with Alpha Core 2 being like definitely one that was less climactic and like grandiose in its set pieces in Alpha Core number 1, because Alpha Core number 3 is coming, and it's a build up to the, another really cool story. So it's definitely necessary for it to have been paced that way. And Alpha Core number 3 is like, it's coming in a couple months. It's not like, oh my god, Alpha Core number 1 came out in like 2023, I think. Like, so it was almost like, it was like, I think over 2 years, I think. Because we had ISOM launching in July of 2022, if I'm remembering this correctly. And then in um what is it? Then next summer, so it was 23. ISOM 2 launched. I remember that I was at Porkfest. I think it's my first time. So I went to Porkfest and I got ISOM 2. And then it was later, it was like the fall of yeah, Mark's like saying, yeah, it was later in like the fall of 2023 is when Alpha Core launched. Got Alpha Core. And um and so yeah, it's been over 2 years since Alpha Core 1. And yeah, I remember, yeah, reading Alpha Core in either November or December of 2023. I remember getting it in November of 2023. You might have gotten it December, but it was like I remember getting it in November of 23, and reading it back then. This was before I did video reviews. So when I do the review for Alpha Core, it's going to be an overview, and I'm going to have the first issue of Alpha Core with it. I'm gonna, because like I just went in reading the second issue because I still remember it quite well. I'm gonna go and read some of it just to get it fresh in my mind when I do the overview, and then basically do the Alpha Core overview. And this finally will catch me up. I will have done a video review for every single book of the Rippaverse, and hopefully I will maintain that streak. But like I said, it's going to take. I think I might have ordered The Curse and the Black-Eyed Club Part 2 together, and if that's the case, it might be a little bit of time before I get the next one. So you guys might have to wait for my review. But the most exciting thing, or yeah, most exciting thing this week is that we're getting another Exclave. So we're getting Saoirse Exclave number 1. So basically, my understanding, I think Rex, he's email. He's a great guy. Fan of the channel. Thank you very much. And he did enter into the contest. And because of that, he's been in contact with me on email, emailing me about things. And he corrected me. I said that Crotalus was the first Western story. Hellbound Stagecoach actually is the first Western story. So I was corrected on that. And then I think something he also communicated was that Eric had said on a live stream that these side stories or characters are going to focus on like Saoirse, Yaira, because I believe it's just going to be Isom, Bloodroof, and Gooding. Not Isom. Yeah, Isom, Bloodroof, and Gooding are going to be the main like characters involved in Exclave, and then like Saoirse Exclave, Yaira Exclave. These are going to focus on what these characters are doing during the Exclave event, because they won't be mentioned in the ongoing Exclave series, which we know is going to be number 0 and number 1, and it's probably going to be a couple more than that. But I'm really interested to see exactly what this is going to be. Um, but of course, Ruby Rush walks into her office uninvited with the news that their old broker has been taken by a group called the Choir. Saoirse has to take the case. He knows her secrets and he kept copies. Whatever the Choir pulled him under is still down there, and it's pulling at the city too. It's a Saoirse tie-in to the Exclave crossover event. The invasion from below has started, and in Saoirse's corner of the city, the work begins where the light ends. This is being written by Carol Brown. She's written so much for the Rippaverse, so really, really excited to see that. She's still going at it. Jack Jadson's doing the art, and letters are by Invisible Art Studios, basically as it always has been. So it is quite interesting to see. But, ooh, boy. So what am I doing here? But yeah. So yeah, I mean, go through these covers here. So cover A is by Gisela Piccolo and Javier Mena as the colorist. I mean, this is like Saoirse. I mean, this is like looking a bit 70s here because she's got like the bell bottoms going on. And we'll make this full screen so you guys can, look at this. But like you see, like, that's a bell bottom look, which I don't know. I somehow got into watching like I watched way too many. I have too much screen time, so I rot my brain with YouTube Shorts. That's my vice. But in that, I have learned that apparently barrel jeans exist, and like they're the opposite of bell bottom jeans, which are really big in the 70s, where the flare out happens like I guess by the thighs and the calves instead of like at the ankle. But this is like a bell bottom look, although I don't think it's like intentionally meant to be a bell bottom look. It's just like showing like this dynamic action, but it does have like a 70s look to it. Is all I'm saying. But I like it. It looks really good. Saoirse's always going to look good. Let's see. So basically, we've got a Twitch bot in the chat trying to sell me AI viewers. No thanks. I do love that Exclave logo there. But this, let's see, cover B is by Pam Gutty. I mean, this is fantastic. So, I mean, you have to love the conflict of the cocktail dress with like the holster. And then of course she's got like it's probably like a faux fur, but like that like fur coat that looks very like it makes her look very high. Like she's got the jewelry, she's got the fur coat, she's got the gloves, and she's got like the gun. There's the gun on the table. She's got the gun on her holster. She's looking very. The word is like it gets overused, but like demure, like literally looks like she's got this like demure look, but she's also like very physically threatening as well. So I personally really love Saoirse's character, and I really want to read that first issue. I'm really excited to see Kane White and Eric July give us more Saoirse in that first issue. But this is probably the best cover so far I've looked at for these. So Lloyd Orkman. So this is giving us stuff that's kind of like I'm not even sure it's like if that's actually like because I can tell like Liam something. I'm so bad with reading cursive. But I'm not even sure if that's like meant to be intelligible. So cover C is by Thiago Silva. And this is of course Saoirse going at a bunch of devilings. So this is much more of like an action cover. This is foiled and embossed. I like it, but like of course this like cover B here is like woo wee. This is like the cover that I really like. So, but this one is definitely good. It's just, it's good. It's, what's going to show up most likely in this book. So I'm like all four covers like this. And it's, it's done well. The style doesn't jive with me as much as cover B. And also, I think it's something like it's got that like Doom look. Like this has been like done so many times. Cover B really like it accentuates and it really taps into what makes Saoirse cool as a character. Meanwhile, we've got cover D, and this is going to be the mass print cover. And this is by Brow, who's been doing so many covers for the Rippaverse. And I absolutely do love this one. For a pinup, it's fun, it's nice. It's a little bit like I don't know, the heels are doing not necessarily what I like. So it's definitely like an interesting style. Like I said, I think cover B is the best one that really captures like the look of Saoirse that I like the most. But this isn't a bad cover. It's drawn really well. The pose is really nice. She's definitely got that look about her. But I think like I would say definitively cover B, just like Pam really got what I think makes Saoirse really cool as a character. And that is Saoirse number one, the or Saoirse Exclave number one. So really, really cool to be seeing all of this stuff. And I always go through it like so quickly. Like I cover the we got this is blue shirt. I thought it was my Gooding shirt, but it's blue shirt. I got so many Rippaverse shirts. But anyways, I've got I cover it also quickly. And it's always like, oh, I don't have any like explicit commentary. I haven't even read Saoirse number one. I haven't read Exclave number 0 or number 1. So it really is cool. But this does seem to be a different case, if I remember, and we can reference. Let's pull up. I believe it would be the second issue of the Ripazine. So we can put. Let's see. Never accuse me of being unprofessional. Oh man. You can't accuse me of not keeping my books in good condition. There we go. We gotta go. I'm not sure if it was flipped the other way. Gotta put First and Black Eye Club in there. I apologize. Let's see. No, that's 5. All right, here we go. Not exactly what I was looking for, but exactly what I needed. The Ripazine. There we go. The Ripazine collection will have what I'm looking for. Do 100% love the Ripazine collections. We got Salvage PI. We're flipping through Salvage PI. We got Saoirse. Mm-hmm. See. Let's see. Man, I'm so freaking professional. But no, because Mondo Mansion. Because she mentioned, so it's not her, but she basically gets the intel because she pretends to be a chauffeur. Because she gets this job to infiltrate someplace. Saying LF's not a hitman. Basically, so yeah, I got off work. He's waiting for me outside. I mean, it's kind of creepy, but it's freaking Mondo Mansion. So this is basically, I'm not sure if you guys can see, but it's this character right here. That's her mentioning, Mondo Mansion. But in Saoirse Exclave, it's Ruby Rose. So it's different character. So the assumption is that Saoirse in basically, because as far as I know, number 1 is just going to continue the Mondo Mansion story that we get in the short story in Ripazine number 2. If I've got my crap correct. And then it'll be after that. So this dealing with Ruby Rose. Ruby Rose walks into her island with news that their old broker has been taken by a group called the Choir. So hail CJ, you know. Oh yeah, that's the what I've never played GTA San Andreas. But yeah, that's been memed to death, man. Oh shit, here we go again. I guess that character's name is CJ. But let's see, if I can in fact, I can in fact find it. Because I think it's from the same game. Because that's a funny meme. No, yeah, I will research this. Let's see. Ooh. Here we go. Okay, guys, this is the best.
Can I take your order, please? Carl, what do you want? You gotta eat to keep your strength up, man.
Hey, I'll take a number 9, fat boy.
Give me a number 9, just like his. Let me get a number 6 with extra dip.
I'll have 2 number 9s, a number 9 large, a number 6 with extra dip, a number 7, 2 number 45s, 1 with cheese, and a large soda.
Yeah, that's Big Smoke's order. That's my favorite meme from San Andreas. But I think I think there's one guy who does like eating videos. He actually got Big Smoke's order and he actually ate it. I don't think I need to find that. I forget that guy. But anyways, so CJ, be interested in seeing Carol take over Saoirse permanently. I mean, that would be interesting. But I would have to honestly, I wouldn't want to make that call until I read Saoirse number 1 and then Saoirse Exclave. To compare the writing styles of how Eric takes, his stab at, doing an issue for Saoirse versus how Kara would do it. But I would at least Eric like to get like a good 3 issues or so with Saoirse. And then if he wants to hand it off to Kara and she wants to take it, then she could do like the next arc and she could keep on doing the series. But it's not like Carol, and I said before, she's doing a lot. She's got Dirty Deeds, which I believe is also fulfilling. So Dirty Deeds number 1, can't wait to read that. She's got Dirty Deeds, not only the series, she wrote like the novel for it. I think she wrote like that Middengarf story, Twins, whatever it was. So there's just a lot of stuff that she's got on her plate. So I'm not sure if she could do a the ongoing series for Saoirse if she already has one on her plate, but who knows. But like I said, I wouldn't make that call definitively that like, Caro should be the one writing Saoirse's ongoing series. Like I said, not until I read the first issue and compare it with Exclave number 1. We got Mike Has Bad Knees in the chat along with Zay Comics. Hail to both of you guys. So Zay Comics, you guys are doing the second issue of Man with No Strings. I got the first issue a while ago. I need to read and review it. So hopefully I gotta get on that. So you guys got to harangue me to review comics. Let's see. My Twitter feed is just always going to be a bit crazy. But oh yeah, so there is this. Yeah, so man, I've been rewatching because after the definitely nice to see CJ in the chat. But after the Legend of Aang movie leaked, Man with No Strings I like number 0, and I'm sure number 1 is good as well. And Lost Pages. Zay Comics is really good. They do great stuff. I just like I prioritize Rippaverse, and I need to get this. I need to get my income back up so I can keep buying comic books, and I need to also quit my job so I have more time to read comic books. These are very contradictory things. or you guys need to go to the pinned comment in the YouTube and just throw money at me so I can quit my job so I can just spend all day reading comic books. But this is yeah, so I mean they are making an Avatar fighting game. Oh, hell, you got here. There was a Rippaverse stream. That's cool. Cool. Nice to see you, Garfield. Let's see. Yeah, working to get lost pages drawn. Yeah, need those too. Let's see. So we got. So I guess there was a live stream for. I guess Ripple was doing a live stream. You know, this is a good slot to stream on Friday nights. Which is, you know, probably like whenever they live stream, I do have less viewers because, you know, a lot of them they prefer to watch, which honestly makes sense because, like, you know, Eric is the one who's got, I want to say the T, you know, that's such a, like, it's such a, I don't know, it's a really, like, I feel like millennial Gen Z thing to talk about, like, spill the tea. Like, I'm not, I'm not a 20 to 35-year-old woman living in New York, talking about which, boyfriend dumped me, for someone else. So I don't have any tea to spill. But like the details, like the stuff that actually people want, is like when this book is coming out, when, if there's going to be a game or what the next deal is going to be, like try to get him to NDA himself. And yeah, he was talking to Mike Smiller. He confirmed there's more Mike Miller Rippaverse covers on the way, which is really, really cool. So, of course, Smiller I think he did a cover for Horseman #1, if I remember correctly. And I think he used like AI to do a mock-up and he drew over it, and that was apparently controversial. Because you can't use AI like that at all. I personally don't care. But anyways, I remember reading a tweet about that. I don't want to like commit slander. Yeah, Horseman #1. He did Horseman #1. But anyways, I like the cover. So no shade against Mike Smiller. It's going to be cool to see him do more covers. Of course, since he's like involved himself with Comicsgate, there was like a little bit of hemming and hawing, but honestly, Student of God doesn't clip his stuff anymore. And like all the people who did, if they still are, then I guess, but it's really fallen off of like my feed. So I don't pay attention to it anymore. It's like kind of meaningless. So absolutely. But anyway, getting distracted by with the Twitter stuff. So gotta go to Reverse Comics here. Yeah, CG is dead, not even worth hating. I agree, CJ. That's really the point that I'm at. That's the point that I am at, is that it really isn't worth it anymore. I do kind of want, because I got this, I got Rainbow the Brute from Divinity Comics a while ago, and it would be funny to review that book, and I legitimately do. So yeah, but it's honestly, so Zay Comics, you guys have a good stream. Yeah, no, I definitely need to read the book soon. And I will review it, and of course, I'll tag you guys when I post review. I gotta be like definitive with the language that I use. I know since you guys are doing #2, yeah. Oh yeah, no, I received it. You're talking about Zake? Oh no. So there's this company, Divinity Comics, that made basically a book called Rainbow the Brute, spelled differently. No, I didn't get all caps comics Rainbow the Brute. If that's what you're asking, I did not get that book. But I got Rainbow the Brute, which I ordered several years later, and it just came in like a couple of weeks. I just haven't gotten around to unboxing and reading it. But yeah. No, don't. If you don't, I mean, he hasn't yet. But like, it would be funny to review that book and just like, yeah, the parody Rainbow book. It would just be funny to review that book. And I think it would be very entertaining. But like, the time for it to have been like super relevant, quote unquote, would have been it's past. But I still want to read it and review it just for shits and giggles. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff. I gotta get back on the Battle Beast because Battle Beast didn't March. I only went the March issue, so I gotta get like April and May. There's a whole bunch of stuff to review, and I haven't really done any reviews for like the first almost half of this year. So I gotta like really step up my game and really get these reviews out so that way because I want to be the indie comic book review guy. And honestly, I think that's still like a cool thing for me to do. So I really want to get to it. But anyways, so I don't know. I got so much like Avatar stuff in my but yeah, I mean, this fighting game is actually kind of cool that like there are certain characters that can like redirect. So yeah, it seems like to be made well. I talking about this game, but I don't play fighting games, but I love the Avatar franchise, like the show, and it does seem to have been made really, really well. Like there's a lot of attention to detail. The characters are accurate. The movesets are good. Yeah, okay, that's a whole other thing. Well, yeah, that's a. Ugh. But anyways, we'll keep this Rippaverse related because you don't want to see me going through my Twitter feed, because it's just brain rot. Because everything's brain rot these days. If you didn't know, because we've been taken over by the Alphites. Lord of mercy. But yeah, this is the main thing. I talked about we've got Definitive Horseman #1 and Definitive Alpha Core #1. So those books are collecting. So Definitive Alpha Core is collecting Alpha Core 1 for free, and Definitive Horseman is collecting Welcome to Forest Park and then the first 3 issues as well. And I'll give like all the specific details on like when those books will come out and stuff. But we can just go to the pre-orders page and check it out. So it's going to release October 30th. And then Definitive Alpha Core is going to release October 2nd. Cool. So CJ said that Eric Elias keeps putting out quality books lately, like Cursed, Blood Roof 2, Alpha Core 2. Hard to deny how far they've come, especially lately. Yeah, no, I agree. And honestly, it's just like, let's just take a look at this. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. And then let's see. I count 1, 2, 3. So we can start like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So 24 books. And this, I think it was just this year they launched the pre-order system. Ridiculous. So they are really keeping to the promise of releasing as many books as they said they are, especially if you're going to count in the Ripasend stuff. And it's going to be really hard to keep up with, but it's going to be really exciting to keep up with. And after this year, assuming all this stuff comes out and gets fulfilled, and with the fact that Hachette made a deal with them, like I don't think Hachette actually a company like Hachette that does like global distribution would not make a deal with Rippaverse if they couldn't actually like get the product to them and fulfill these contracts on time. Because it just isn't worth their while. to do it, to do it like that. So really freaking excited for all the stuff to come out, to read all of it, and just how much lore we're going to get this year is going to be really, really cool because we'll be through basically a good bit of the Exclave event, side stories of the Exclave event. We'll have side stories like Twin Tricks, and we'll have like Stefania's Florida's Finest. We'll have Smuggler Stitch giving us the backstory for Cedric Gaucho. We'll have a book that gives us an expanded lore of Dirty Deeds, a full-on freaking novel, guys. So like going into 2027, because it's 2026, time flies, right? Yeah, Saoirse cover B looks really good. And that's the one that I said was the best looking. Well, Great War Separation complete. Like, there's just so much stuff that, like, when 2027 comes in, like, we as the fan base will have just such a great frame of reference to really carry that in. So yeah, I want the Dokumon comic. That would be cool. But I'm sure he'll make an appearance at Exclave, especially like because the Exclave event is first teased at the end of Bloodroof #1. If you think about it, like if you guys have Bloodroof #1, I would suggest rereading that end and then putting that in context of what we know now about the Exclave event existing, right? So I'm sure Pokemon will appear in Exclave, but it would be really, really cool for him to get his own comic book. And I remember like when ISIM 1 had just launched, and this is like around 4 years ago at this point, because it's been a while, guys. So around 4 years ago, I said that, oh, it'd be cool for the Saskas to write a Dokemon book. He's like, yeah, that would be right up their alley. Like, so I put the idea into his head. Just so like I put the idea into his head to write a not to write to do the Smuggler Stitch story. That was all me. I'm just kidding. I think so too. I think Bloodroof 1 is the only confirmed comic appearance so far. Yeah, as far as I know. Of course, there is other books. He could appear in Smuggler Stitch, but who knows? But books that have been released out to the fan base. I know, I doubt he'll appear in the Cursed or Black Eyed Club. I would be shocked to see him in Detention Crew. But yeah, this is cover B. And this, like I said, this is Chef's Kiss, the best cover of Saoirse. Like I said, I think the artist for this, it's Pam Gutty, really captures what makes Saoirse a really cool character and one that I absolutely adore. So that is that. But yeah, really have covered everything like I wanted to cover. I went over, so the covers for Definitive Horseman #1, Definitive Alpha Core #1. Yeah, cover D is by Brow. Like I said, I like it. It looks a bit too like, I don't know, explicit's the right word. I don't know. It looks like these heels they're like a bit too much for me. So like I do, high heels are like they're nice shoes, but like you have to like you have to get like the right kind of heels. I don't know. I guess I prefer the modest look a little bit more. Not that like this is modest at all, but it's much more sensual, right? To me, this is just like it's not as sensual. Like it doesn't like Saoirse's like in her combat outfit, and of course, like it accentuates her features, but it's not as blasphemy. It's not as sensual as I would like it to be. I don't know like what I'm even getting at. But to me, it's just not. It doesn't jive with me as much as like the cocktail dress and like the kind of shoes you would wear with that. Because I mean, with women's clothing, there's like so many freaking options and stuff, and it's like as a dude, and I'm like, I'm a big guy, so like, and I have no desire to like be trans, so like I'm never going to try women's clothing. No need for me to. So it's always something that I'm like, oh, that looks nice. But the whole thing is that like I can't understand it from like the female perspective of where it's like this looks good, this doesn't look good. I think it all looks nice, but like I would say 90% of like women's clothing, from a male perspective, is like if you're a good looking woman, then like a guy is just going to like anything that you wear, basically. Um, but that is not how not how the women, the female mind operates. There's something else going on, and of course, there's like actual principles of fashion, like silhouette and color matching and all this stuff, and it's a legitimate art form. So I don't want to, knock on that, but it's not all about like, oh, you wear something. Yeah, the physique makes any outfit look good. An outfit can't make up for bad physique. Yeah, no, I agree. Um, Although just having like a decent physique, like I don't know. I'm like on the cusp of not being in shape anymore, I feel. I'm eating too much and I'm not moving enough. Many such cases. But yeah, dressing well, I think is a good thing to be able to do. But yeah, if you're a fat slob, then the $10,000 suit is just going to make you look like a well-dressed fat slob, right? Which has value, but it's like CJ said, you can't cover up a bad physique. You have to have a good physique in order to make clothes look really, really good, and that's an important part of how you carry yourself is your physical health, and people can tell. um you know Whether you're Amberlyn Reed, it's like 500 something pounds, or Eugenia Cooney, who's like, oh no, she's probably like less than 100 pounds, severe anorexia, very sad. But anyways, like either end of that spectrum is the point I'm trying to make. Like people can tell that you're physically unhealthy, and there's no amount of like dressing that can like get around that. But anyways, the comic book character Saoirse does not have that problem of not having a good physique. She definitely does. It's just that I think this, like I said, it highlights it's what I prefer from her character. It's like the cocktail dress, and of course, it's a throwback to her first appearance. I just love like the coat, it makes her look much more classy. This just makes her look it just has the feeling that she's going to give you a lap dance, right? And not that like she would, or that like this is even like what this is depicting. But like it just like has much more of that feeling, and it's like it's not in line with the like sexuality that makes Saoirse an interesting character, because she's much more sensual than explicit. Which I don't know. It's hard. I don't know. It's like that's kind of like what I'm getting at. And when I watched the movie Dirty Dancing, and I reviewed it as a paid movie, not paid. So I have a paid Substack, and I do movies. April, I did it on May 1st because But anyways, one for every month. I did Dirty Dancing, so I watched Dirty Dancing, and I really liked that movie because it wasn't like this like movie that was like super explicit, where we're relying on these like sex scenes like Game of Thrones does to make it seem like, oh, sexuality. The characters are constantly banging each other, and you're seeing genitals flopping all over the place for a lot of these scenes, and it's mature and it's adult, and we've infused it with sexuality. No, it's a very sensual movie. Even though the plot of Dirty Dancing is that Patrick Swayze in his like late 20s or early 30s with like a 17-year-old, which is like really weird. But anyway, it's Patrick Swayze. But the whole thing is that movie doesn't really rely on like these explicit sex scenes. Like there are scenes like that, but mostly like just in bed, like macking on each other. And it's just like the kind of like ease off like this tension that builds between the characters, and like show that like yes, they are in a romantic relationship. But a lot of that movie, like sensuality, like how they're like dancing with each other, the dialogue between each other, like the chemistry between them when they're dancing and stuff like that, because it's called Dirty Dancing. That builds up like the like sensuality, um, for that movie. And this is like that kind of like feeling that I get when we'll put this up here when I look at Saoirse in the cocktail dress, with like the private investigator paraphernalia, like confidential document, a classified gun, pictures, with like lines between them on like a map. And of course, she's got her own gun holster. She's holding a picture. Like it just shows you that she's like this very sensual, attractive woman who's got this extreme, like, LF job that is basically in conflict with what you would expect someone who's dressed like that, someone who's carrying themselves to be. And that's what makes Saoirse really cool, in my mind. And also, she can definitely abandon that and she can act, in hardcore. So, hardcore, like, she's got, pants on. He's got her weapons. She's much more ready for a combat situation. I do like how long the hair is in that. So I do think there's something cool about when Daenerys Targaryen wears extravagant outfits. It works with the character. Yeah, no, I think Dany is what she was called. I watched Game of Thrones back in the day. Not like back in the day, like 2019 was so long ago. I guess at this point it's starting to be, because like there are people who are born in 2019. You can have conversations, like full-on conversations with, although they're very simplistic. Because like if you're born, you're like 6 or 7 years old. But anyways, that show ended in 2019. I remember I think I started watching it like 2017, and then I started watching it like end of 16, beginning of 17, and then I caught up on it, and I was watching like every episode it was coming out because I was in college at the time. And people talking about it because like you see it every week. Although the ending for that, but yeah, Game of Thrones had good set design and it had good costume design, especially Daenerys Targaryen having all these extravagant outfits because she was the mother of dragons, the breaker of chains. She had all these. We can pull this up because I am not going to remember Daenerys's. Daenerys titles. There we go. Let's see. Here we go.
You stand in the presence of Daenerys Stormborn of House Targaryen, rightful heir to the Iron Throne, rightful queen of the Andals and the First Men, protector of the Seven Kingdoms, the mother of dragons, the Khaleesi of the Great Grass Sea, the Unburnt, the breaker of chains.
This is Jon Snow. He's king in the north.
Nothing else. But anyways, that's a highlight. Like she has all these titles. But yeah, it fits with her character because that's the kind of expression that she has. That she's like super regal and has all these titles, and she's basically supposed to be like the empress of all reality. Of course, spoiler alert for Game of Thrones: Jon Snow kills Dany after banging her. Basically, Jon Snow, I banged my aunt and then I killed her. Oh man. That is basically that's Jon Snow's character somehow. Oh man, but absolutely hilarious when you phrase it like that. Yeah, she did go crazy. She did have a crash out. Yeah. So yeah, Game of Thrones, but it's just people saying titles. We're not going to watch that. But anyways, all of that to say that I agree with CJ that for a character like that to work, she needs to be dressed extravagantly. because she's being depicted as, like I said, super regal. Basically, she's supposed to be this empress, empress type character. Like she's supposed to be the queen of all Westeros. She's that's her rightful position. But in being in exile, she was going to be, and she was in Essos, I believe. There's the plains, and she would have ruled those, and so she would have had this global empire of it all worked out perfectly. It didn't, spoiler alert. But that's the primary I guess thing. We don't want a real tangent there, but it's okay. I love going on tangents. And it's kind of relevant because what we're mentioning is like comparing that to Saoirse. So I do, like I said, I want to see Saoirse in tons of like cocktail dresses and dressed extravagantly, using her feminine wiles in like higher society. Because like if she's going to be taking out like Mando Mansion types, she does mention Fontano because I was just looking through it in the Saoirse short story. So if she needs to go into like Merc Lounge, right? It would be. I mean, she probably would dress much more like in Cover D, like that, because it's definitely like a lower class place than like a high class party. But she would dress in a way that's very like feminine and alluring, right? And that's like the kind of like I want to see Saoirse doing stuff like that, and I definitely want to see her like going into high society, like wearing tons of cocktail dresses and really extravagant stuff, but also being armed and super competent and going in there not to like be wine and dined, but just to act like it because she's got to take out this person or get intel on that person. Um, Man, it's going to be really, really fun to see what Eric does with the ongoing series. But anyways, I just had to take some but that is basically been going for about an hour now. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this live stream. I definitely want to keep live streaming. Because like I kind of fallen off of it. It's just that like Friday nights are like such a good time to go out and socialize with people. So it might be some weeks I don't do it. But I definitely want to like not be in the habit of like being very sparse about doing it. But like if it comes to the point where like I want to live my life and do stuff with people, I kind of got to accept that like maybe I just, will take a weekend off from doing the stream. But yeah, the Saturday episodes of Braxcast, I'm always going to prioritize getting those out. They just might not always be the best. Because this is probably not going to be the case so much going into like the future because there's just going to be so much stuff with the Rippaverse that I'll always have something to talk about. And like I said, especially after getting all these stories and reading through them and just like getting this bulk of lore, the amount like I can speculate on and tie together and talk about along with all the new stuff, it's going to be really cool. But anyways, I think I want to leave it there. About an hour long is good for me. Definitely want to enjoy some of my evening. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this as well. But I'm going to leave you guys to it. Joker is out.